Hello. Hi. I'll just see if there's anybody else coming in. Just give me a second. What I'm working on is a diamond painting. It's a tote bag, and it only came on. Let me see. It was the day after the last Mr. Postman, so it must have been Thursday. Maybe it came Wednesday night, Thursday night. I couldn't resist to open it, so I just opened it. And I haven't had a chance to do a live since then. Hiya, Jackie, my love. Well, I've been up to all kinds of things. Are you still there? My count keeps going up and down, up and down. I never know how many people are in. I've been up to all sorts. As I say, some new stuff's arrived. So I have played with some diamond painting of late, which is great because I had lost my mojo for diamond painting, and I've been doing that. You're there, good. And I've been doing it for a while now, so I didn't want to really lose it because I've done hundreds upon hundreds, and I'm not joking. I've done hundreds of diamond paintings. I gave them away to the nurses on the ward when I was in hospital for a month. I must tell you about that sometime. I had cancer, stomach cancer, very rare kind of stomach cancer, and I'll go into that story another time. But I was really poorly. I got streptococcal and E. coli, and I ended up in hospital for. No, it wasn't with that. It was when I was in for my asthma. I had a really bad asthma attack, and I was in for a month. They were trying to work out whether I actually had asthma or whether it was something else. I was in a month, and then they sent me home based on some results I had when I went in. I was fuming. I said, "You mean you've had me here all this time, and you could have sent me home all them weeks ago if you'd just read the notes?" Yeah, I was livid, absolutely livid. But anyway, they still didn't help the cough that I was having. But that's the local hospital for you. Anyway, I'm digressing. So all the nurses on the ward, they've been so good and they've been so nice, and they were all, because I'd been in a month, I was taking in some diamond painting. I mean, this was about 5 years ago now, and I was doing diamond painting, and they were all like, "What's that? What's that?" And I said, "Oh, this is diamond painting," and explained what it was, and they were like, "Oh, it's gorgeous, it's gorgeous," and so hiya, Annie. So I gave them all away. I gave loads away. Absolutely, every nurse in the ward got one, and I still had about 50 spare, and a load more at home. So, yeah, diamond painting was the only craft I did for a long, long time. I tended to go through, well, I still do tend to go through spates where I do diamond painting non-stop, or I do resin non-stop, or I do craft. I'm trying to mix it up a bit more now. So we'll see. But I have been doing bits of everything this week. I've done some, yesterday I did all three crafts. I did some resin, and I did the UV resin. Not sure how I feel about that at the moment. I think it's going to need a little bit of practice, because it's not a case of you leave it 24 hours and it cures. You have to cure it with a UV light. And then it's, well, how long do you leave it? And has it reached the bottom of the mold yet? Is it still tacky? All that kind of thing. And the lamp that I've got only has a 60-second time lapse. So I have to keep pushing the button because the UV resin that I've got says it needs a 5-minute cure. So I'm sat there pushing the button, making sure, and then I forget to push the button. So then I forget how many times I've pushed the button. Oh, so I was a bit like at my wit's end yesterday. But I also did some clay, and then last night I did some diamond painting because I have these new things. So first of all, I'll show you the new things that I got, and they all came from a firm. Now let me see, where's my phone? There it is. Let me see whether I can find where it came from. Da, 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 da. So how is everybody? Annie, how are you doing, my love? And Jackie, how are you both doing? That's not on there. Oh, on it. That'll be. I didn't make a video on the UV creations because my camera's down and I couldn't go live yesterday, so I didn't make a video. But I have got the stuff here and I'll talk you through what I did and I'll explain why it's gone a little bit wrong. Basically, the reason it went wrong was due to me not leaving it long enough to set. Right. So this came from a company called Chinatira Limited, and I got it on Instagram. I think I got it through Instagram or Facebook, and it's a predominantly diamond painting company. So I got a number of tote bags because the last tote bags I did were really nice. I loved them. So this one came. They all came, as I said, on Tuesday or Thursday night. So that's this looks very like the Easy Win ones, the ones that come with the Easy Win subscription box. So it's a picture of the lion. It's called the Luminous Lion, and this was $9.99. They're nice sturdy canvas bags. These they're not like, and this one feels waterproof. It's not like the canvas that you get. It comes with all its drills. There's some special drills and there's some normal drills. There's rhinestones. They're really, really nice kits. I've done, well, I'll show you what I've done in a minute. So that's one of them. So that's that. Then we had the Dragonfly Bag. This is called a thicken eco bag, Dragonfly. If I can work out how to get into it, we'll be doing good if I can work out how to get into the bloody thing. Oh, and I've ripped the package. What is it? Right, and again, it comes with a whole kit. That's the Dragonfly. They're nice sizes and they're very sturdy. They're a really good quality tote bag. I was really impressed with them. All the diamonds come inside the bag and it comes with a kit, comes with all the diamonds you need. These ones have symbols on them. Don't know whether you can see that. They have symbols on. So it comes with its own little inventory sheet there with the symbols and the number of the thing. And it looks like it's got its DMC codes on as well, so that's really good. It comes with a just basic kit, and then you have your diamonds, and some of them are gorgeous, these diamonds. The special drills are lovely. We've got some ABs, some little gold. See, aren't they lovely? And they're a good quality. I've not had any trash so far. There's been no trash in them at all. So I've been really, really impressed with them. Then what else did it? Lovely horn horse. Lovely horn horse. I haven't. Golden storage raccoon. Lovely, and then bee. I've got the bee. And this is supposed to be a raccoon, but it's actually a koala. And that's a folding storage bag. And it's quite, there's my big pencil case that fits in with room to spare. It's quite a sturdy case. It's got a false bottom, and it folds up. And that's completed. And that took me maybe an hour, half and 3/4 of an hour to do yesterday. They've got some lovely special gems on there with the heart-shaped gems. And that again has ABs. It's got rhinestones in and special gems. The bottom's a little bit see-through, without the but it's got a strengthening bottom in, a false bottom that goes in. So I'm going to empty the pencil case into here and use my pencil case for something else. Because the box that I use some other tools in has collapsed. Then we have this one, this is the B. So the only one I'm missing is the horse. The lovely horn horse. 5D DIY Crafts, $4.39. I don't know what that was. I'll have to double check that. So the tote bags, the Dragonfly tote bag I showed you, that was $11.99. The raccoon storage, this is US dollars by the way. The folding box was $12.99. This one here is the B. Again, it's a decent sized tote bag. It's got special drills and normal drills. Can you see that? Well, I will seal these because they will be used a lot and they'll be getting knocked about. You've lost your Jojo to create anything new. Hopefully you get me back in the mood. Let's hope so. So these are lovely. I'm really enjoying doing this B. Again, it's symbols, so it's come with its inventory sheet. So I'm really pleased about that. And that's all the diamond paintings. Other than, I'll have to check where this lovely horn horse is. I'll have to double check what that was. So that was $4.39, the lovely horn horse. So the whole order, including shipping. So I got a discount of $4.39. The shipping was $5.99. So basically, nearly got the shipping free, and the total cost was $52.95 US dollars. So I didn't think that was bad, considering they're all diamond paintings, they're all special drills, and you've got tote bags in there as well. So I didn't think that was a bad price, really. I think I will be ordering from them again. So we'll see how that goes. And it was all done by PayPal, so it was fine. So I'll just put this to one side for the time being. I also got the rest of my metallic papers. I got silver, bronze, rose gold, and gold. So that's there. If anybody wants to join me, I'll put the link up, and then I can talk with you instead of at you. Let me just put the link up, and then if anybody wants to join me, they can do. There we go. There we go. Right, so just put that to one side, and I'll show you some of the stuff I was doing yesterday. Now, the bottles of resin that I got, these little ones, they turned out to be 30ml bottles. I went through 6 yesterday, and one of them was fair dues. It took 2 bottles because it was a big mold. So I don't think I will use UV resin for big molds. I think I'll use it for thin items and jewellery. Some of the items I'm really pleased with, but they're going to need a lot of work to get them nice. So this is the main mold that took up a lot of the resin. I'm not overly keen with it because it was difficult to know when it was cured. So it got lifted out of the mold a little bit early because it was rock hard on the back. But the bottom wasn't cured a little bit, so the resin's misformed around here and it's lost some of its colour. It's a good mould in itself, It's a nice mould. It's got a lot of detail on it. I think it's something I would consider. I might even paint this to make it look a bit better, and then put some sealant over the top. So that's the resin piece I did, one of them. Then I did some more small dragons. Again, the colour didn't really take to the, because I painted it on the mould, and it didn't really lift the colour off the mould. So that's one of the small dragons. The dragons themselves have come out better in resin than they did in clay. I don't know whether you can see that very well. Can you see that? I quite like that mould with the dagger. That's a Dragonfly, and it's so cute. It's got facial features are brilliant, but you can't really see them in there. Then we got this one. The colour on this one wasn't too bad. They're all metallic colours, golden green, golden bronze, or bronze gold, bronze, antique bronze, and gold green. Then there's this little cutie. And this little one here. As I said, it's difficult to see the features because they're not really, the colour hasn't come out. So I think I'll mix the colour in with the UV resin in the future. Then I did some, because my dried flowers came, I got a load of dried flowers. So I thought I'd play around with that. Now this one, again, I had trouble knowing. Hiya, Annie. Sorry, didn't see you there in the background. I'm too busy talking.
All right, I thought you'd not noticed.
I hadn't. I saw you suddenly waving. I'm like, oh, it's
Annie. Yeah.
So this one, on that side's fine. But on that side, it's dull, it's lost, it's white, which is fine because the flower was white on that side. But it's hard to know when it's cured because it's in the bottom of the mold. You think it's cured because it's really hard on the top, but it actually hasn't cured very well on the bottom. And you can't work that out until you take it out the mold, and then you put your fingers on it, and then you've lost the shine. So
about that,
that's the thing I don't like about UV resin.
You know, if you've got a clear mold, when I say clear, you know, like this,
that's the ones I've been using.
Well, when you've done the whole time on the top, just turn your mold over and leave it in and put your light back on it a few times.
Yeah, and that's what I ended up doing with this. I ended up, because I saw it hadn't set, so I put it back in the mold and put it upside down and did that. But like it said on the bottle, 5 to 10 minutes. Well, I'm sitting clicking this button because my lamp only does 60 seconds. So I'm sitting clicking this button like there's no tomorrow, trying to get the blooming thing set.
Yeah.
This is beautiful, but again, I had the trouble with it setting. But if you can see inside,
oh, it's pretty though, that.
It's going to be pretty. So it needs a lot of work. I've sanded it with a 400 grit sand. I've got to get all of the edges done because I put 2 pieces together.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of little like drips. So I'm going to sand it down using 400 till it's nice and smooth, and then work my way up through the sandpapers. And then my husband has got a buffer, so he's going to show me how to use the buffer with a compound, polish it, and we're going to get that nice because it's really pretty inside. I mean, you can
really
just nice. See, and I think that'll make a lovely pendant when it's done. I then did these. This one's actually turned out okay.
Oh yeah, that's pretty.
And again, it's got like flowers in the bottom. Can you see, like a yellow flower in the bottom, and then like a thistle in the top. And it's got a few bubbles in, but I think it looks more like raindrops with it being a flower. You can get away with the bubbles, can't you?
Yeah, actually, I think sometimes bubbles do it justice. And just to prove a point, evaporate. Come out wherever you are. I've been busy with other things. And oh, here it is. Right. You know the big mould?
Yeah.
That's it's the same as yours.
All right, yeah.
And if you look, you don't think you can see it very well actually, but if you look around the bottom, you can just barely see it here.
Yes.
Bubbles, but they look really good when you've got your light on underneath it.
Yeah.
They look really nice. Now
Yeah.
then, I didn't get the leakage you got because when I went round the whole thing with my glue gun.
I'm going to have to find my glue gun out.
Right, well, there were areas where the glue didn't take. So obviously I did get a little bit of a line around the middle. And if you don't want to use sandpaper on it, you can always get a blade, your craft blade, and just cut it off. And then I just put clear nail varnish top coat on it.
Right.
And it just, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's for me. So who cares, sort of thing. And you've still got that hole in the middle. That is because mine's deep because I knocked it. Right. Not because it leaked, it's because I knocked it. And I tried to with a stick.
Scoop it up.
Didn't work. But as I say, it's for me. And because it's got that anyway, it sits nicely on it.
It's nice on the lamp.
On the lamp thing. So, yeah. And I mean, I didn't put any colours in. I just put some iridescent glitters, Aurora Borealis glitters in. And I sparkled really nice.
The one I did, when it had that kept leaking.
Yeah.
It's still pretty, and I haven't tried it on the lamp because I was disappointed with it. I was having a bad couple of weeks with resin, and I just was like ready to throw the whole thing at the wall.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I've been there. I've done that.
But I haven't put it on. But I think
try it on lamp.
It'll look pretty on the lamp because of the colours
and the flower inside.
Yeah.
You should definitely try it.
So I will try it.
Definitely.
I did a few more, but then with these ones, they're sort of upside down. Because I was thinking that the pendant would hang that way, but I think it probably would be better hanging that way. But anyway, there's some flowers in the bottom and then some more. But again, this one hadn't. So there's like fingerprints in it.
Right.
So I think I'll use a finer grit sandpaper on this one. I wouldn't start at 400. I think I'll go high.
Sandpaper. I do use sandpaper. I'm not saying I never ever use it. Not on anything. I just use a emery board.
Well, I'm looking at. I think on this one, I'll just use an emery board.
I use that as soon as I've used emery board. I wipe it with a wet wipe.
Right.
And then I put that on.
Right.
You don't need to then start re-varnish it.
That one's turned out better.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And that's just got a flower in that has
But I'd be inclined to, if it was my preference for me, if I was independent with that, I would actually put the pendant in the flat side and have it dangling point down.
Right, which is the way I did. Yeah, that's the way I've done that one, so that it's the flowers.
So the point's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I would do it. Hey, and I got
this. And that's done that one.
Where's that?
That's the other one that I did. That again has fingerprint marks on it, which I'm going to use with the, as I say, the nail file rather than a coarse sandpaper.
Yeah. I would just use a nail because you've got fine and fairly rough on your emery board. So, and one of these would be ideal as well. I've got both. This is quite, I would say, quite a rough one, but you can use that first. Because the thing is, if you're only doing a small area where it needs doing, you're not rubbing it around a big piece of sandpaper and getting other bits that don't need touching, because you end up with scratches.
Yes.
That's what I found. This is me talking about what I've been doing.
Yeah, no, that's what I found with this one.
Well, so I do use, like I say, if I've got something like a pot that needs doing, I just put it flat down, move it in a circular motion, very, very lightly, and it just takes that edge off. And then I leave it with a bit of a dome under, a bit of a, you know what I mean, underneath, because you need an edge. And if you don't want, or if it's for somebody else, and they don't want, they don't want to scratch the furniture, which is obvious. I bought some cork sheet off eBay, cheap enough, and you can draw around your thing, cut it out, and stick it at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's not going to scratch somebody's furniture.
I've been thinking of felt.
Felt, yeah, same difference.
I've got some squares of felt upstairs, so I did these for my sister.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Leaf ones. I like leaf ones.
I love these, and it's a set of 4, and each leaf's different.
The only thing, if you put in, because you've done them clear, what colour's your felt going underneath it?
It'll have to be blue, I think.
You'll lose your pattern though, won't you?
I don't know. What I'll do is experiment. If not, I might just dome it.
Yeah.
And then sand the corners off because it's quite sharp. So I'm going to sort of like experiment, but I won't actually put the felt on if it's not.
Yeah, it's just that if you use it same colour or a similar colour, you might lose your pattern. You'll still see your leaf shape, but you might lose your pattern. Because when
the other thing is using like a light version of the same colour.
That could work. Yeah, pale blue if you've got a darkish blue in your pattern.
Yeah. This one I really liked. It was a little heart that I did, and I put some red gypsophilia in it. Some dried gypsophilia in red. Again, it's dull because of the fingerprints, but I think with this one I might just put a coat of either a thin coat of resin on, as like Jackie suggested, or some like nail varnish. Yeah. But that's that one, and I really like that one.
It's pretty, that, yeah.
And I domed it on the back, so it's slightly rounded on the back as well.
Yeah.
So it just needs a little bit of tidying up. And I think a thin coat of resin over the top of that, even painted on, would make that better.
Yeah, something else to try, just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll work. But you know when you're saying you've got your fingerprints, you've got oils in your skin, haven't you? So you're touching something that's really highly glossified, if you like.
Yeah.
A lot of people, now I'm not saying this will work, but it's worth a try, is they wash their pieces in warm soapy water.
Yeah.
And then dry them on a really soft cloth, like a microfiber cloth.
Right.
And it might just buff it back up without having to re-coat it.
Yeah. I've got this stuff as well.
Something I've not tried yet, Lise, but I'm just thinking, I don't get the problem, you see.
This was advertised as a resin shine, and it's supposed to make the resin really crystal clear and shiny. And this is the second time I've been fooled by it.
Do you know, it makes me sick when they do that.
And it's actually called Car Nano, and it's a repairing spray for headlights. Now, I know on the car it works really well.
Yeah, do you know what I bought? I got a great, and it cost me £8. I got a big tin.
It cost me about 20 odd.
Yeah, I'm talking about the car. But it's not for car. I bought it for resin. Simonized wax polish for car. Because I heard that were really good. Is it fake? It don't work. I was fuming. I
think the best thing to make a high polish on things like that is either get it so that it's so well cured and dry that it's not going to mark, or
go on.
A little bit of sanding and a buffing. I think that's the best thing for resin. I don't think putting all this extra polish on or anything like that, it makes any difference with it.
Well, I've not found, apart from using nail polish, but also I did see something on just trying to think what they call that YouTube channel. I think it's something like eJoy. She does a lot of resin key rings and that. She's brilliant to watch. I really enjoy watching hers, and she does quite a few videos. You know, I think a couple of weeks, maybe more. But I'm sure it's eJoy, because I always think it says enjoy, but there's no N. But
right.
you want to get looking on her. She's very, very good. She doesn't talk at all. It's just visual,
right.
but it's brilliant. And another one is seriously. I think it's seriously crafting. And she does a lot, and she does tutorials as well. So if there's anything that you're not really sure about, if it says it's a tutorial, she's talking. Right. Otherwise, she's not talking, but you can follow her along. She's Australian now. She's good.
I've just watched a guy called Daniel Cooper. He's a bit of a cocky beggar. He's only been doing resin about 3 months, he said, and he's done 14 tutorials. And each tutorial is basically the same, but he was using something that I'd never used before called sinker inks. Have you heard of them? A sinker ink.
It's like a heavy, it's white.
And yes, it's white, and it forces the ink down. Now I said, I've not come across that. And he said, well, so I said, I've done what you're doing with the inks for a long time. And I mean, I've been doing resin now you've been doing it for nearly a year.
Over a year now.
Over a year. So I'll be on to about a year. And I said, I've been doing that kind of work with inks, like he swirls his inks. He does basically this. He does that.
Yeah.
But because he's got that heavy ink, it causes a force, and it causes like a nice effect underneath.
It depends. And I think, honest to God, it depends, because I've got this. I think it's one of these two is sinking white. That
right.
That sinking. This came with the whole thing. Didn't get trade, but obviously I got these from Amazon. All colours.
Are they all alcoholics?
I don't know whether they're alcohol or not. Yeah, they are alcoholics. Right, so I've got all them, and this is sinking white, and that came with this kit, and also this one, which is another sinking white, but they're not. Oh, deeper white, that one. Sorry, I put wrong one back. That's sinking white, and this is deeper white. Right. Now, what deeper white's supposed to mean, I'm not sure whether it means it goes deeper or if it's just a more dense white.
Right.
But I'd seen a tutorial where you put your colours in, drip, 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 drip.
Yeah.
You get your sinking white, drip, 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 drip. And it's supposed to take your blue and your colour and disperse it into a...
It is, and it looks like feathers.
Well, mine doesn't. And mine's same stuff, and it couldn't do it.
Well, what he does is he does that, the drop, 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 then the white drop, 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 drop.
Yeah.
Then he does the same kind of thing as I do, and he calls it wisping. And he gets a cock, but he waits an hour.
Yeah, all right.
Till the resin's slightly sticky.
Yeah.
And then he does this wisp with a cocktail stick. And he's done 15 videos, and on every tutorial, that's what he's done. But he's done a slightly different version of it.
He's not teaching you anything, really.
And then he said to me, because I rang him, I said, what's that white that you're using? That's for. And then he said, you just keep watching my tutorials and you'll do fine. I thought, you cocky beggar.
If they're all the same, they're not teaching you anything.
You should look at him, Daniel Cooper.
I'm not sure. I think I might have seen him, but I'll look.
Daniel Cooper, and the one I looked was Mount Beatty or something.
Oh, okay. I think I might have seen him. Names, I know I've watched somebody called Daniel. Whether it's that one or not, I don't know, but
he's only got about 15 videos out.
But to me, if you're going to you learn by your own mistakes, I have.
Yeah, I have as well.
I found a few people that do resin that I found helpful to watch. I've seen other people that do resin, and they're so far up their own backsides, you know.
It bugs you, doesn't it?
You don't give a damn about your subscribers. You're only bothered about yourself and what have you. So then I tend to move away and don't watch them anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
I was a bit taken aback by his comment. I thought, just keep watching my tutorials and you'll be fine. I was like, well, fair enough, but I mean, he did come up with one good idea. He used a mixture of UV resin and normal resin. And what he did was he drew a picture with the UV resin, like a pattern with the UV resin, and set it as he was drawing.
Right.
And then he took that, then he poured UV resin over the top of it to make it stay together. And then he put it into normal resin. So you had like a pendant like that, and then you had this pattern that was indented, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
So I like that idea, but that's the only different video he's done. Everything else is these drip, 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 drips.
Yeah,
He uses different colours and puts the drips in different places.
Different shapes, but same thing.
Yeah, and I think, well, you're just teaching us the same thing over and over and over.
I wouldn't waste my time. I really wouldn't.
I was like, well, I subbed him, but I'm thinking of unsubbing because I think, well, what's the point of watching him if he's just going to say the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
And then his cocky attitude to his subs was a bit, because I did say in my message, I've been doing this, I've been using that technique for a while, but I haven't come across. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you can be doing a project for like years and years and years. Like for diamond painting example, I did diamond painting for about a year and a half before I discovered rounds. I'd only ever done square diamond paintings. And then all of a sudden, I got through the post a round one after about a year and a half. And I thought, oh, wow, this is much better. I like this. You know, but just because you come across something new doesn't mean to say that you're a novice at the...
Oh, God, no. I mean, we're all learning. I mean, it don't matter how long you've been doing something. I mean, same way in. He's still learning. He doesn't know everything. There must be something he's got yet to learn.
Who?
You know what I mean? This Daniel or wherever is, you know.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's there to say that everybody that does resin has still got things to learn.
That's right. That's what Jackie's just said. You know, like we try all different kinds of crafts, and some people just do one, so they learn quicker.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, I do more resin than anything now, as you know.
Yeah.
But I'm still diamond painting like the clappers. I've nearly finished this old couple in bathtub. Nearly finished that one. That'll be finished tonight. And then I start on my dragon one. I've got a little dragon cartoony one. It's lovely.
Oh, have you?
Can't wait to start.
I've got to send Mandy hers. I still haven't sent it out yet because I've not been good enough. I've not been well.
No. Well,
Hi, Ian.
Fortnight we've had, and it's just been miserable.
Yeah. I just haven't been in the right headspace, and I forgot all about it. And then I remembered the other day, and I thought, oh no. So
she'll understand anyway.
I sent her a message and I said, I'm so sorry. I'll get it sent out to you as soon as possible. So that's what I've done. Hiya guys, I'm just videoing.
Just give me a minute. I'll talk me a minute.
All right. What's that? Eggs, more eggs. We're gonna have to have it omelette or something for dinner because I've got about 2 dozen eggs in there. Okay. So what else I got, Jackie, is I did this one, and this is basically it's a lace. Hiya. It's a lace flower with a pearl in the middle, and it's all done with gold strands. Now you can't see the lace there, you can. And it's all done, it's embroidered with gold thread. and it's a little lace flower, and in the centre of the flower was a pearl. So I just used that, and it's come up beautifully. And I had sort of half mastered the resin curing time at this one, so it's actually come out okay. Needs a doming on the back, which will take me 2 minutes. But I'm quite pleased with that one. And then I just used a little pearl inside this one. So it's just like a teardrop pearl. Then we move on to my clay. Go on.
I've just bought this little
Right.
little
I will
sphere.
add them all to Jackie.
That one, I don't have to. I haven't put anything on it round it. It's really nice and snug. That I got it off eBay, and they've got various sizes. So I'll go on to my eBay and I'll send you
the link.
I'll send you a link because they do all different sizes. But it's only got so much in it at the minute, if you can see.
Yeah.
I using some up, so I just put it in there, and then I thought, well,
yeah,
I'll fill it up with when I've got some more.
Sometimes they're nice when you do that, aren't they? When you've got that little bit spare.
They're nice accidents, aren't they? Happy accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I then moved on to me resin, me clay. I'm trying to practice butterflies, Annie. Boys, that's enough. Sorry, the dogs are playing.
Oh, is it?
I've got my daughter's dog here and my dog, and they suddenly decided they wanted to play. So I've been honing my butterflies, and I don't know whether you saw the purple ones. Did you see the purple ones I did?
Yeah. Well, I saw a picture.
That's the purple one I did.
Yeah, I've seen. Where did I see a picture of that then? I've seen it on Facebook. I must have done.
Well, that's the first one I did. The first one was that. The first one was very cartoony, so that was my first one.
Oh, yeah.
So that was very cartoony, like a kid's drawing.
Yeah.
And then I watched somebody and thought, I can do better than that. So then I came up with that.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I love that colour.
So it's got the veins in it, and then it's got the little dots around the outside here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got its body I put in last. Its body was separate. So it's got two canes and then a body. And then I did this one yesterday.
Oh, that's nice colours.
So this was supposed to be round. You know how sometimes butterflies have the eyes?
Mm.
Well, they were supposed to be round, but the only bit that stayed round is the yellow.
Right.
And that was actually just filled. But the reds, the way it's gone, I think has been really effective. And it does look quite good.
Well, I mean, it's nature isn't perfect though, is it?
No. I mean, it's got, as long as the wings are the same on either side, I don't think, and they are because they're from the same cane.
Yeah.
And then I saw a cane that I had in my box that was, I thought, oh, that would do for butterfly wings, and I came up with that.
Oh, yeah. You like your purple, missus, don't you?
Well, the reason I've been using a lot of purple is because I've run out of clay, and the only clay I had left was purple and lilac.
Oh, right. What explains
So that's why I've been using a lot of purple. But now I've got my clays arrived, or I've got 2 ounces of so many colours. I've come up with that. So I've been able to play a little bit more with colour. And then I did 2. I showed you them both. And then from this yellow, I had some of this yellow left, and I had some brown, and I came up with that.
Wow.
So I made like a flower cane, and then what I did was made a coaster out of all the flowers.
Right, yeah.
So these are all separate, and then these bits in the middle here are cut out of those, they're quartered.
They don't come across to me as flowers, they come across to me as feathers.
They do, don't they? It's because I rolled them slightly with a pin. You roll and pin, so stretch them.
Yeah, that's what they come to me as. They come across to me as feathers, but it's lovely.
It's really nice, isn't it? But it's only small, as you can see. It just fits a glass.
Yeah, that's all you need then.
It's just about the size of the bottom of that glass.
Yeah.
And it's certainly protect a table. It's not like mega thin. It's still got some movement in it, but it'll certainly protect the table.
But how strong is it then when it's finished, this resin? Is it breakable or?
Well, this is about...
Don't break it, just to prove out.
It's about 2 millimeters thick. Yeah. And it's got movement to it.
And does it say?
But it doesn't, you can bend it quite a far way and it doesn't break.
And have you baked that one then?
Yes. I baked this at 140, it's between 130 and 140-ish. And I baked it for an hour.
Right.
So I make a load of them, stick them in the oven, and then they're done within an hour or an hour and a half, you know, later on. And I just play with something else while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it's not like resin where I've got to keep my whole table.
Yeah.
Just the resin. And I've got to leave it there overnight. It's like, it's great because I just put it in the oven and I can play on my table and do something else.
Well, I was nearly tearing my hair out of the day because I did my chessboard.
All right, I still haven't done the chessboard.
I was so excited about it, and I got it all on this desk because this desk I'm using me level, and it's level everywhere and everything. So I moved everything off this desk, got my board down, I get my mold down flat, and I did all my squares first, my black and white squares. I did black one night, then following night I did white ones, and then following night I did my main board first layer. It takes that much, you need 2 layers. So I did first layer, and I thought that looked weird for some reason. That don't look even. So anyway, I thought, no, it must be just me. So I left it a bit longer, and then I did it again and put the rest of the stuff in, and I could see it were at level with edge of mould, but it seemed to be still not level at this end. Anyway, I left it overnight, and I says to Harry, look at this. Why is this not level? Because it's supposed to be self-leveling. I've got my level out, I put it that way and I put it that way, and it's level all the way around. And he says,
no, quiet.
Then he says, where's your level? So I got it out, new level. So I got my level out and I showed him, and he said, right, here's my level, and he put his level on, and it's way out, and then he put it that way, and I said, hang on a minute. I said, if it's a level, bubble's got to be at the same bloody place.
Yeah.
It would not be any other. And he says, only if bloody lines are in the right place. Now then. So it turned out.
Complain about that level.
My level is clearly not a good one. I need to get a new one. And it is a new one, but the line's not in the right place on bubble. Can you believe that? So I'm gutted. So now I've got to turn it round to the road, fill it again so that it's full at that end and not at this end. Well, it's full anyway at this end. And do it, but I don't know how it's going to, if it'll come right up to edge, because it's full right up to edge on that side. So it's going to end up looking an absolute mess. And I'm absolutely mortified because I'll show it you. I love it. I absolutely loved it when I first did it.
Oh, wow. Annie, that's gorgeous.
Well, I thought it were, but
I'm sure it'll work out fine.
Yeah. So
I was really happy with my first one with the little flowers in. And but this, I'm really looking forward to seeing this other one finished. Because I've done it with blue squares.
Well, yes. Now then, I nearly did 2 colours rather than black and white. But I thought, well, for my first one, I'll do black and white. But I'll tell you who did. That's Steve MacDonald. He did a checkerboard. and I think it was Seriously Creative. She's either New Zealand or Australia, but she's brilliant. And she did one, and she got blue and pink squares. Oh, and it did look nice. It really did.
Well,
look
I've
nice.
done. I'm wondering whether to do another colour or whether to just put a clear cover on, clear coat of resin on top, or whether to
all I've done is I put I think there's 5 sheets of copper foil gone into that.
Right.
You know, like you've been and bought all them, haven't you?
Yeah.
I put 5 sheets of copper in and whisked them up so that they all broke up nicely, but not too much.
Yeah.
It worked out perfectly until, as I say, it's not level. At one end, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and at that end, it's nearly 1/2 an inch thick.
That level really, what you want to send that back, Annie, and complain.
£1 shop, please. It weren't worth it. Yeah. Serves me right. I should have just gone. I don't know why I didn't even borrow his, but normally when I asked him for a level, he brings out a 3-foot long thing, and she's no good. I didn't know he got a little one like that, a bugger. He hides things. So, I'll show you what
else. I'm wondering what colour to do. I think I'm gonna keep the board at the blue and the clear, but I'm not sure. Oh, nice.
It's a brooch.
Wow, did you make that?
Yeah.
You made that. Excellent.
And all I did, it's only done with clear. What is it?
Enough.
I got the actual molds off eBay. They were £2 something each. I got one first, and then I decided I'd send for another. And all I did was I brushed them inside with the mica powders very carefully because I don't go in it wrong places. But yeah, and I've got 2 minders as well. Because Trevor saw them and he says, "Oh, I won't mind one of them in a minder." And I said, "Well, that's my next chore." So they're mailed the 2.
They're nice, Annie. Where did you get that mold from?
eBay.
Right.
£2.80, I think it is each.
Wow.
Really cheap, really cheap. So, and I love it. I love to see them when they, when something comes out like that, when you've not done a right lot to it to make it that nice. You know what I mean?
I know I did that. Do you remember the bulldog I did?
Yeah.
That went down really well. I don't know whether I put a tweet. Have I put a Twitter up on that, Aunt Jackie? Have I put the
Thanks, Jackie. Amazon have them too, yeah, but you've got to be a little bit careful with Amazon because they charge more.
Yeah.
I did
what was I talking about? My brain's gone dead.
Mine doesn't know.
You showed me the thing. Oh, the bulldog. And it's gone down, and the lady who I made it for is really, really pleased. And she said, you could make a fort, because I did it as a gift for her, because she's a good friend of mine. And she said I could make a fortune just doing bulldogs. She said they're gorgeous. You could do them in lots of different colours, because the one I did her was blue, because she's got an English bulldog named Blue, and it's that sort of colouring. It's like a blue. Now, the colour obviously is not the same as him. It's a little more bluey than the dog, but it really represents who that dog is.
Yeah,
and it's got its tongue hanging out, and she said it's just him. It's just, and the dog is called Blue, so it sort of fit. And I made it into both a bag charm and a keychain, so she can put her keys on it, but hang it in a bag at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I've
got all my bag charms are on key rings.
Well, I gave her I said I've got 2 chains on there. One because I put I put the chain on with the lobster claw, then realised where's she going to put the keys because she wanted a key ring.
I know what you mean.
Then I thought and then I had some key rings that already had chains attached. So I thought, well, I'll just put that extra one on, and then she can have a key hanging down, but she can clip it onto something so they're easy available. So I said, if you want to take one of the chains off, do that. I said, but I thought I should do more and play with colours. I'm going to, Jackie, I think that's a good idea. I'm going to do some brown, because you can get them in all different colours, can't you? So I'm going to look at the bulldog colours and see what colours they come out in, and then have a go making different colours. And I think they would even make, for some people who are like bulldog crazy, you know how some people are with a certain breed.
That's the only thing, though. You've got to be a little bit careful that you don't just do one breed of dog, and then people say, no, it's nice, but I'd have preferred a so and so. Or so. You never get anybody that that's like.
Well, this lady specifically asked for an English bulldog, so I typed in English bulldog molds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some normal, like common breeds, like a Labrador or a Spaniel.
I got one of these in black from DD Creations, she's a black Labrador, and she said that reminded her of her Labrador puppy.
Right.
So I got that one. I got that mold from AliExpress. It weren't expensive, and I did it in white as well. So we've got so I've seen it done now in blue, black, white.
They remind me of spaniels or poodles rather than labs.
Well, that's what I thought about that one. That reminded me of a poodle. But she said it's like a lab puppy, so I don't know. I've never had a lab puppy. So.
If you can hear scraping, it's me sanding this thing down.
You've got to carry on. No, carry on working while you're doing.
That's a good idea, Jackie. I think I'm going to do some different colours. I'm going to do a brown one and then maybe paint some patches on it, or do a white one and paint patches on it, that kind of thing. Because it's a difficult way to actually put the different colours in.
Yeah.
I tried to do a mixture of white and blue when I actually did the mould, but the two colours sort of just combined into one, and you couldn't really see the contrast in colours. So I think because you can't get into the mould to actually paint the colour on, you're going to have to put a base colour on and then paint patches.
That's what I did with my whale mould. I tried to put white on inside that mould.
Yeah.
It come out like a bronzy colour with black resin. And I says, oh, God, it's awful, this. I'm going to throw it. And Mandy said, no, don't throw it. I'll have it. So I sent it to her, but she thinks it's lovely. What she called it, Mr. Fluff something.
Yeah, oh, that was the one she got from you when she got the sheep from me.
Yes, that's right.
Sean the sheep, and I don't know, I can't remember what she said the name of the way it was.
Oh, dear oh me.
Just bear with me 2 seconds, Annie.
All right,
you hold the show.
I'll hold the show. Yeah, well, I've got a few other little jobs I've got to get busy with. I'm going to take that off and put it on again because it's peeling off, which is no good at all. I like to put on the front side of me, when I've got to the dominant back, I use liquid latex, and then you can just rub it off. But apparently you can use white glue as well, your white craft glue, and put a nice thick coat of that on, and it just protects your underside while you mold it, while you're doming top side. So that's what I've got to do with those. I'm hoping to get that done later today. I might just do a bit more of me on my board from me checkers, get that one finished and out the way.
Oh, you're feeling that way out, Nibs. I'm back.
I had a new bowl come this morning. A new bowl mold.
All right.
A new bowl mold. A mold.
It's horrible.
It's rubbish. It's had my dinky. That's not what I call a bowl.
Ah, okay.
Well, this one is nice. It's a nice small one, but it's more decorative. But this one, it's, you know.
Yeah. Nibs, come out the way. You're under my feet.
I
My
know.
dog's poorly.
Oh, why? What's the matter?
Well, he's had the runs for the last maybe 2-3 days. Yesterday, we came down. My daughter came down, and he pooed in the front room, the dining room.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was on carpet, which is I've got wooden floors, and he chose the only room with a flipping carpet.
Oh, yes.
And then last night because we've got my daughter's dog. He's been sleeping with us upstairs because my daughter's dog's used to sleeping on the bed with the kids.
Yeah.
So he just whines and whines and whines. So Nibs was upstairs with my daughter. And he came in our room this morning about 5 o'clock, jumped on the bed. But then Jeremy woke up at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 7:45, and with this awful smell. And the dog he'd actually messed in the room. Well, that is so unlike him. He just doesn't mess in the house. I mean, he's 9-10-year-old, so he knows not to mess in the house.
I know what you mean.
But then this morning he came back up because I went back up to bed for a little while. I was feeling rough, and he came up with me. Both dogs did, but then he was sick, and it looks very red.
Oh dear.
It's like brown, but it's like a really reddy brown. It's not just like he's brought up his biscuits. There's too much colour to it. So I'm a bit worried that there's a bit of blood in there.
I would be as well, actually. Yeah.
So I've got it. I caught it in a towel. So I haven't thrown the towel away yet. Well, I haven't washed the towel yet because I'm going to wait till my husband comes home and show him the colour of it. I'm worried that he's got parvo.
Is it parvo? Have you not had him vaccinated against parvo?
He's vaccinated, but I'm not sure whether he's due or whether I'm sure he's just had all his jabs.
I thought parvo were a one-off jab, though.
I don't know. I think it's a regular thing.
Rosie, listen to me. Poppy hasn't had any jabs since nearly 2 years now. We got her in May.
Jabs, Annie.
We got her in. She was born in May. We got her in July, and she had all the jabs done then, and then she had them done year after. But then she'd not had them done since we went into COVID.
Right.
It's
been done every year.
She would do normally, but we missed it because of the COVID. And you check them. But she had go on. She had a season at just under a year old, and then we had to wait so many weeks. Then she could go in and have we had a spade, and that was the last time she was in at the vet. But she'd not had any jabs since then for the lockdown and everything.
Well, Nibs has had a jab every year. He's about 9 years old, maybe 10. And he's they were asked, "Hiya, Mandy." Ian, Jackie. He's what you call a Nuttall Terrier, but unfortunately, the man who was inventing that breed has died. So the breed's actually dying out with him.
All right. Oh,
but his breed is actually a mix between a Patterdale Terrier and a Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
Right.
So he's got the stocky build of the Staffy, the calm nature of the Staffy, but the colouring of a Patterdale.
Right.
And he's got the tenacity of a Patterdale, but it's calmed down a lot with a Staffy. So he's not as, because Patterdales are very highly strung, aren't they? But he's quite a calm dog.
I've not had experience of a Patterdale, if I'm
Well,
honest.
they're very like high strung. They're always like they're like high wired, whereas Nibs is a lot calmer. But Parvo is quite rife round us. Always has been.
Yeah. Oh, I hope to God.
So I'm really worried that he's got that. So he's not himself. I mean, he's sat here now with his head down, like right down, looking like he's been told. You know, he looks. Oh, I'll show you just a minute. Move. Can you see him? Let's have a look there.
Oh, baby, hello. Oh, it's lovely, Lise.
Can you see how he's like his whole demeanour looks sad though?
Well, yeah, it's not well, is he? You can tell he's not well. Oh, he's gorgeous, so.
That's my baby.
Oh, he is beautiful.
He's a lovely dog.
How you doing, Chick?
Hiya, Dee.
Hiya, Ian.
Ian's been in and Dee's been in. How's your little boy, Ian? Is he all right? Have you been doing? I haven't got round to watching your video yet. It's really.
No, I've got to watch his other one. I've seen it on.
There's one to do with something in the middle of the woods, like a house or that you found. I'm really interested in looking at that one. Can't remember what it is. But he found something in the middle of the woods or something.
Homestead Cellar, I think, is it not?
Yeah, Homestead, like something like that. I'm really interested in watching that, so we'll be watching that video.
Stuff, does Ian? He does.
He's good, thank you. He starts kindergarten on Tuesday. Oh, that's going to be nerve-wracking for you.
Gonna miss him.
He is going to miss him. So is he only in kindergarten? I don't really understand how kindergarten works in Canada. Do they go half day to start with, or do they go all day? Because in this country, what happens is when they first go to kindergarten or nursery, we call it, they go for like about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, for a year, maybe 2 years until they're 4. And once they reach 4 to 5, they go into your reception, which is where they just go into mainstream school, and they're all day, the same hours as the other children, and then they move up into what we call year 1, year 2, year 3, right up to year 12. Once they move, when they reach year 2, they then move up into another school, which is called secondary school, and that is. So how does it work in Canada? What are you up to? You're dancing. Are you dancing? You're driving me nuts, I'll tell you that. There's nothing. I got these. I was saying I've been getting some new dried flowers. Well, they came as well. I haven't shown you these yet.
No.
I got them from. Did I get them? I don't know whether I got them off eBay or Amazon. But they came in the first lot came in packages like this, so like you get a load of those, like leaves.
Okay, yeah.
The status. Then you've got like they look like lavender leaves.
Oh yeah.
And you've got the actual lavender flowers somewhere. You get the lavender flowers, then you get there's like lots of little buds type stuff like this.
Yeah, they're handy little buds. I like them. They don't take
Then there's these helichrysums, I think they call them.
Right.
There's some fruit.
Okay, yeah.
Then I think these are carnations.
Right. They look like carnation bud.
What this is, I don't know, but it's some kind of leafy stuff.
No, I can't tell you. I have no idea.
Then there's this, which is really fine, and I've used this, and it has a really nice effect.
What is it?
I don't know. It's like a yellow, tiny yellow petal.
Oh, right. The petals are there. I thought they would look like seeds. That's what made me say.
Yeah, but they look like tiny petals or stamens. One of the two. But they're yellow and they've got like a yellowing brown tinge and they're really nice in the resin. Then we've got these little thistly things. Some lilies. These are lovely, but they're very fragile and they break up quite easily. You can see they go into lots of different pieces. Pieces, and they're like velvet to touch.
Are they?
Then there's some more.
I started a couple of hours a day for 3 to 4 year old. It's optional, and then kindergarten when they're 5, and then after grades 1 through to 12.
Right, so they'll have what they call a head start, which is what we call nursery.
Mm-hmm.
And then kindergarten is reception.
It's like I call it infant school.
Yeah, we used to have an infants and juniors, didn't we?
Yeah.
Now they call it nursery, primary, primary school. Now covers from years 1 to 3, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's like rosebuds.
Oh, rosebuds, yeah.
And then I got these packets as well.
I like the smaller flowers. I really do like that. I think they're more dainty. They're pretty. Yeah, I like the smaller flowers. They are nice.
So these come, but you only get, the only trouble with these is like you only get one pack of each colour and you only sort of get one flower.
Yeah, that's one really sad.
In this one, you get bags of them.
Yeah.
This you're only getting like a palette that you would use maybe in 1 or 2 items.
Mm. Yeah, I mean they're very pretty, but I think they're expensive.
I love this one.
I do too. I like that big spiky leaf in red.
Yeah, that's lovely. And then that's it. So they came as well. Now, price wise, what did I pay for these? Where's my phone? Let's see, I think I bought them off Amazon. Let's have a look. I got a box the other day. The box was 14. I got this. Where is it? I got a box full like that.
Yeah.
That was about $14.50. And then let's have a look at the
flowers. Oh, I am so tight, me, when it comes to
the thing is, I really wanted them. And I've been trying to do them myself, but they're losing so much colour. But then I was quite pleased to see that the pressed flowers, most of these have been dyed.
They are dyed. Definitely they are dyed.
Because the natural colour is gone. Their natural colour just fades out.
Mm.
It doesn't stay that bright colour that they've got on here.
I've seen another way of drying flowers as well, by the way. Now,
powder.
I do mine in silica gel.
Right.
I have done. But semolina, I've never heard of it. But I saw somebody actually drying flowers in semolina.
I suppose it like the same with rice. It absorbs the fluid.
Yeah, she uses rice when she wants to level stuff out. If it's shaped underneath, but I've never heard of anybody drying flowers in semolina. But I'm thinking, yeah, I can see where that's, I can understand that.
Sorry, I could still hear you. Just whining like a chicken.
I've seen
driving me nuts.
Rice, but I didn't find rice very good. Apart from when you want to level something up when you top it in doming, it's ideal. But then, semolina, I thought that's a bloody clever idea. I would never have thought of that.
Well, I'll try that because I think I've got some
semolina. I have all the story in my cupboard because I love them.
So this bag here was £10.19.
I think it's a lot of money.
Dried flowers are expensive though, Annie.
Yeah, they are.
And these ones here were £10.99. So this was the better deal. This one here, you had 96 pieces of 40 different kinds. And this one here was 16. so many 16 packets.
Oh, I'm too tight, me.
So
I tell you, I have
both
seen,
of them, that was 20 quid.
what I have seen.
And I really, really wanted them, so I fed myself.
You can get nice floral stickers that work well in resin.
Right.
I've seen one or two using them. I've never used it, man.
Jackie's mentioned stickers before.
Who was?
Jackie.
Yeah, sticker.
She
You can
suggested using stickers with the UV resin.
use
But
them.
those pendants that I made, that I showed you, they were all using those flowers that I bought.
Have you got a laminator? Because you can use.
I've got access to one, but I don't own one.
Well, with the laminator, you can just laminate sheets of paper and cut them out and use them.
Right.
So nice small pictures of flowers, laminate them, cut them out.
Good idea.
Resin.
Why laminate them?
Pardon?
Why laminate them?
Because the colour will come out of paper.
So the colour in the paper blends. Now, I've used paper in the past and not actually had that problem as yet.
No, you've got
but
to.
I know you've mentioned it.
You've got to seal paper. You can't do it without.
Well, I have, I've used, I did those, that notebook and some of the coasters, like this here. That's all paper. It's not being sealed.
Yeah, it's not a picture though. I'm talking about when you use a picture.
Oh, right.
You've got your different inks in the colours.
I see. So a printed picture will, right.
That's right.
Because this is actual just paper.
Yeah, you can put that in.
Enough.
Not a picture without sealing it. Steve McDonald, like I say, he's done all that kind of thing. You really need to go and have a look on his videos.
Who's that?
Steve McDonald.
Steve McDonald.
He's a bit of a twerp.
Is he?
But yeah, it's quite funny. Deliberately funny.
I mean, this basically is what that other guy was doing.
That's nice.
That was the first thing I ever did.
Was it? That is lovely. Really pretty. Rainbow.
The back's not so good, but the front's really nice with it. And it's
not so good. Show me back. There's not wrong with back. I think that looks nice.
Right. Just the splot of black. I wasn't quite sure.
No, it still moves though with your resin, so it's sort of giving it a bit of a little bit of movement type of thing. It's all right. That
he's funny and with a good sense of humour. Do you watch him, Jackie?
Yeah, he's got a good sense of humour, but he also knows a lot of stuff, and he does a lot of experiments where you don't need to, if you know what I mean.
Right.
We might do something that's totally absurd, but you'll see the results, and then you'll know not to do it that way, or you know what I mean. It's good. I mean,
that's why I don't mind showing the stuff that I experiment with, because I think, well, if I experiment with it and people say, well, that was a waste, then I think, well, at least I've taught them something. You know, at least I've sort of shown them, well, you don't use that with resin because that's the results you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're the same, aren't you? I mean, you show stuff and you think, well, that didn't work, so don't try that at home type thing.
Yeah. Well, I do. I mean, the thing is, what you see with me is what you get caught. I don't edit. So if something doesn't work, like when I was trying to get this stupid cat, I mean, look at the state of that.
You still kept it?
Still here on my desk, in space up.
I thought you'd have chucked it by now.
Well, there's every chance it's going to go. It will do eventually.
Why don't you cut through the mould?
Because the mould's torn now. We're trying to get it out.
I was going to say slice the mould down the side and...
Oh, no, it's too thin. It's too flimsy, mould. I don't even know where I put mould now. It's...
Oh, the mould, you got the mould off?
It's ever so flimsy floppy.
Oh, I thought it was still in the mould. I didn't realise you'd actually
No, it's the mould. I taught mould. Getting it out. And I looked at it and thinking, there's just no way.
What do you want to? You've been told, Annie, give it to the charity shop. What, the cat? What, the cat?
It's no charity. Believe you me, I wouldn't give that to my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. Really wouldn't. I'm a bit concerned about them then having it, I'll tell you. I'm feeling the shame.
Oh, the stuff that I've done that's gone wrong. It's just.
I don't know. Right, well, I'm going to get off at least because he's getting ready, must be getting ready for something to eat. Been at it all day.
Oh, yeah, have I been on an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Well, you get yourself away. Thank you for joining me, Annie.
No problem, Doc. Bye for now. Bye, everybody. See you later. Bye.
You think the cat can sell for £1, do you, Jackie? You'd be surprised what people buy. It's the sanding. I'm just sanding this pendant down. I'm determined to get it nice. So I've been given instructions by my husband how to do it. So I am going to do it. So what have you been up to, Jackie? Have you been doing any crafty stuff? I hope this scraping isn't. If anybody else would like to join me, you're more than welcome. I'll put the link up again. Jackie, do you fancy coming on? It'd be nice to meet you in person. Don't be shy. It's getting softer. It's getting there, guys. It's getting there. Trying to get rid of that ridge. See? It's getting there. So what I'm doing is I'm just sanding this edge on 400 grit. And apparently once I get rid of that edge and it's nice and smooth, you're going to come on next time maybe, okay. Have we given you any encouragement as to re-enthuse your emojo? These tote bags are fantastic to do, Jackie. You fancy having a go at them? They're quick, they're easy. The only thing you have to do is seal them really afterwards because they're going to get knocked about if you're going to use them as shopping bags. But I've done 2 already because I got 2 in the Easy One subscription box, and they were cars and they were lovely. And they're really sturdy. And I went the other day, and I got quite a few bottles of tonic water, orange juice, and some bitter lemon. And I carried the lot. There was about 6 bottles in. I carried all of them in the one bag, and it held no problem at all. It didn't feel like it was given at all. It really was strong. So I was really pleased with the results of it. I really was. So I'm really pleased that I did them. And then because I was so pleased with the bags, I ordered more. That's what made me order more from this Fern Chintira or something. But you can get them on Easy Win. You can buy them on Amazon. Tote bags, you can buy them anywhere. And they're about between. I mean, I paid $11.99. I think that was dollars. So you can pay anything between £10 and £15 for them. But they vary with patterns now. You can get all kinds of designs on them. So the only thing I haven't got was the horse thing. So I'll have to get in touch with them and say I haven't received the horse. What are you barking at now, dog? That dog's driving me nuts. It's my daughter's dog. They've gone to Wales for the weekend. well, for the week. They don't come back till maybe they went yesterday, and she went. My youngest daughter went to my eldest daughter's house on Thursday to set off Friday. So they dropped the dog off Friday about 10 o'clock, and then they were heading down to Wales, and they're going on some starlight sunrise walk up Snowdon. So the idea is to set off early, walk up Snowdon to see the sunrise at the top. So that's like it's a holiday deal thing. So they're going there, and then they're going to visit some friends in Anglesey. Well, we couldn't take the dog, so we've got the dog, and it's a Saluki lurcher thing, cross, I think. I don't know for sure what breed it is, but he's a beautiful dog, but he whines a lot, and he's like very, very dependent on certain people. And when Stacey goes, my eldest daughter, when she goes, he pines for her. But he's not so bad when the husband's here, but when the husband's gone, he pines for him as well. So he's been whining, and he likes to be upstairs on the bed. Well, I'm not. My mic keeps skipping, and it's out of sync. I'll tell you what, then I'll leave and come back on. Just give me a minute. There. See whether that's any better. I'm determined to get this nice. It's already getting nice and smooth. Just sat here doing this. I'm really worried about the dog. I mean, if it's parvo, it's not nice. But he's running to the toilet, and then with him being sick, it's made me. And the sick was, as I say, it wasn't its normal colour. And the way his demeanour is and everything, I'm worried that he's got parvo. But he's had all his injections, so. But he also suffers from epilepsy. So I don't know whether he's had an episode or something. And well, on a night when we're upstairs in bed, because we keep an eye on him during the day, and he's on medication for it. But never mind, he'll be fine. He's eating. I'm not sure, because the other dog's here, so the food is disappearing, but I'm not sure whether he's eating it or whether Buddy's eating it. It's hard to tell. Obviously, if you only got one dog in the house, the food's still there, but if the food goes, you don't know for sure. I haven't noticed him eating it. And yesterday he sort of went there and then moved out of the way again. He's barking at something now. Oh, that little dog. I love him to bits, he's a gorgeous dog, but he's just hard work. And especially when my dog's not very well, he can't be bothered. Can you, Nibby? He can't be bothered. Little baby. He likes to be, at the minute, he's very clingy as well. I mean, I was laid upstairs earlier, I'd gone for a lie down, and both dogs joined me. Don't normally let them, but they did. And at one point, he snuggled right in. He sort of stuck his nose up the covers, moved my arm, and snuggled right in under my chin. And he's looking sad, when they just look. They're not themselves. He's still barking at things outside. He's just not himself. Just not himself. They're a worry, aren't they? You're like, they're your babies, and you sort of really worry about it. It's not better. Oh, man. Sorry, guys, I don't know what to say. Is it just because I'm moving, do you think? If I move my head out of the way, is it interfering that way? I'll unplug this, and then I've not got anything else in the computer plugged on. I don't need it. If I sort of just talking to the camera. Oops. We'll see if that's any better. I'm going to have to go soon anyway, so if it doesn't get any better, I'll just say it around. So how is everybody? Are you all right? I think I've asked that already, but there's been a few new ones joined us, so I hope everybody's okay. Denise, how's the craft room coming along? Because you had to empty everything out and put it back together again. Getting a new floor or something, did you say? Trouble is, I've got to be careful I don't catch my nails, you know. The mouth moves after I've said something. Oh dear. Close your eyes, don't look at my face. I think my internet's been playing up actually. My dog's still whining. This woman dog makes me want to swear, and I don't swear. I don't. Try not to anyway. Well, I'm getting there, guys. It's better. See, it's not got as much of a ridge on that side. Still got a bit of a bump on. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. Get some fresh bit of sandpaper. That might help, mightn't it? So, what else can I tell you? What's happened to me this week? I told you I got spoiled, didn't you? My husband bought me a load of stuff. Went shopping. I tell you, the best thing I have ever spent my money on was Skechers. Skechers trainers. I got Arc Fit or something. They're the most comfortable shoes I have ever had. They're brilliant. They're so comfortable. I put them on as soon as we bought them. I put them on, and I was thinking I'll just walk around in these because I had jeans on that fit the outfit I was wearing. So I said I'll just put them on. But I was expecting to feel like I was going to get blisters, but no blisters, nothing. They were the comfortablest, softest, maneuverable. I was like, I am amazed with these shoes. Best ever. Love them. Absolutely love them. I'll show you them. I'm so impressed with them. I'll show them off. There we go. Just a plain black pair of shoes. No fasteners on them. They're just like these elasticated stuff. But it's real soft. And look at the back. That is so soft. Yet it gives enough support round here to support your ankle. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love them. Absolutely love them. They are the way forward in trainers. Definitely. I mean, there might be other trainers out there just as good as them, but I haven't come across any yet. I love them. So my girls were actually jealous. Then, yeah, my husband, he wanted to spoil me basically. So he bought me a pair of Levi jeans, and he got me a few tops, a new dress, the comfortable slippers. No, I'm not in a wheelchair yet, Jackie. Sorry to hear that you are, but then I think they would do with slippers. You know, they're so comfortable, and they do slip-ons and everything. And then he bought me some Levi 502s, and some tops and a dress. So I was well spoilt. We walked around Newcastle for about 3 hours. Which was nice. It was nice just to spend time together. We went to TF, TGF. Thank goodness it's Friday. TGF. Tea for lunch, like a late dinner, early tea, and it was gorgeous, and the staff were brilliant. The gentleman noticed, one of the managers noticed that I'd only eaten a little bit. Oh, well, that's good. It makes a difference, though, doesn't it, when you've got freedom? I know I feel a little bit. When we went to, I can't remember whether I really knew you then, Jackie, but when we went to Scotland earlier in the year, the girls went to the fairy pools, and I couldn't go. I just couldn't get down there. I got so far. I literally got about 10, not even 10 meters down the road, down the path, and couldn't go any further because of the pain I was in. And it took me nearly 20 minutes. And it was only if the girls did it in 5 minutes. It took me 20 minutes to get from where I was back to the car. And it only just set off. But it was because of the pain I was in. And I was so disappointed, and like I wanted to go, I wanted to be there, I wanted that freedom to go with them, and you can't have it, and you can't go these places. And like years ago, not that long ago really, I would go all over the place. I'd be walking, I'd be swimming, I was quite fit, loved doing outdoorsy things. But now I can't do any of that, and you do lose your freedom. You do, and then I wonder whether they should make. They made outdoor buggies, didn't they? Where they did adventure buggies, where you could put your kids in these 3-wheeler buggies, and you could go off road. And they were supposed to be able to be really good for going through the woods and doing walking and things with your kids. I think they should invent a wheelchair like that, or a little mobility buggy like that, so that you could go down places like that, so that you can be part of it. Because I felt like I was so lost without my family. I had to sit in the car. I mean, I made most of it. I did my crocheting. I did a little video, which you can see on YouTube. I posted it on YouTube, and you can look at the fairy pools from where I was, which was a fair distance away. But then the girls said, when came late, they said I would never have managed it because it was all up and down. But it's a shame you do. So I'm pleased you feel like that, Jackie. I'm pleased you can see the positive. And managed to get some of that freedom. Oops. Well, this is starting to feel a lot smoother. Still got a bit of a ridge on that side though, so we need to smooth that off apparently. So I'm using a 400 grit sandpaper there. 400 grit. I think it's a wet and dry. It says waterproof, but Jeremy, my husband, he said to use it on dry to start with because you get a coarser sand. You were born with cerebral palsy, and as you got older, your disabilities got worse. But once you got my wheels, you felt like there was no. Oh, that's good, Jackie. I'm pleased to hear that. Oh, I'm really pleased to hear that. So I'm using 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm using it dry because, as I say, my husband said that it would give us a coarser sanding. And what I'm doing is, because this was joined by two pieces, it was like the front and back that were added together, there's a seam that runs right the way around, and there was a bit of a ridge to it and you could really feel it. Well, now that's nearly gone. And there was also little, like there'd been an air bubble, so I filled it there, and you can oops, and you can see there and there. That's nearly soft now, but there, that bit still needs a bit of work. So that needs sanding down so it's nice and smooth all over. And then what we'll do is we'll work through the grits on sandpaper. I'll work through the grits of sandpaper so that it's nice and smooth, and then my husband's going to help me buff it up so that we get a lovely sheen and shine on it, because I hope you can see inside. I really like the way the flowers have worked inside there. Got a proper like little arrangement of flowers with the greenery behind. And you can still see the greenery and the little flower at the top and one peeking out there. So there's still sort of nice picture at the back, because this will be the back of the pendant, obviously, and that's the front. So this whole thing wants to be sanded down, and we'll work through the grits until we get to a really high grit, and then we'll put it through on the buffer, which I don't know how to. My husband's going to show me, you know, what compounds to use, how to do that to get the best shine. But he said there's at least a few hours work in this, just sanding it. So while I'm talking to you guys, I might as well just sit here sanding away, because I don't realise how much I'm sanding off while I'm talking to you. I know what you mean, Jackie, about getting a scooter, because when we went to Nottingham Forest, every year, well, pre-COVID, every year they do a Sherwood, Robin Hood festival, and they have a team there that pretend to be Robin Hood, Marion, then the Sheriff of Nottingham and all that. And they do fake fights, and then there's lots of different stalls, and you have people all dressed up in period clothes, and they sell their wares, and they sell stuff that would probably have been available, like wood, carving, leather work, fabrics. They have herbalists there. They have what did they used to call them? Alchemists. They have people there who use, you know, they're able to do that kind of thing, show you what kind of mixtures they used to use back then, herbal remedies they used. It's a really good event, and it all covers a week. And we often go, we used to go, try and go every year. Well, we did about 3 years on the trot. And one year we went with friends, and I was like, I don't know, a bit worried about walking around there all day. So what we did was they had scooter hire. So we hired a scooter for the day, Oh, it was the best thing I ever did. And as I say, people were they were saying, wait for us. And as I was shooting off all over the place to have a look at everything. And you do have this sense of freedom that you feel you've lost, which is nice. I wish I could do the stuff that Ian does though. Kayaking. We used to do that with my husband. It was canoeing. We used to use a canoe. And we used to go around some of the lakes and the lochs in Scotland, the lakes in Cumbria, and visit the little islands while we were there, go canoeing, and get in a little canoe boat and canoe up to the little islands and have a look around the islands. And we used to love it. And when we had kids, that didn't stop us. We just used to strap them to our backs and keep going, although we didn't tend to do the canoeing with the kids strapped to our backs, I must admit. We went in a rowing boat, much more civilised, into a rowing boat, very posh. Kids loved rowing boats. So, Jackie, have you got any children? I know Ian's got a little boy. Have you got any children? Mandy's got children. I think Denise has got children, but I'm not 100% sure. I know Mandy's got a grandchild. Bless her little heart. Thankfully, I'm not a grandma yet, although I am adopted grandma. I have my adopted grandboys. They're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. My best friend's little boys. I used to be a breastfeeding consultant, and when she first had, I knew her, but I wasn't really close, like what you would call as a friend as such. But I knew her, and you've got a daughter and a granddaughter. Oh, lovely, nice. Daughters are lovely. I've got 3 daughters, and I found out that she tried to breastfeed her first child, and it had gone wrong, and she'd had to get rushed back into hospital with him because he was losing weight, and she really, really wanted to feed him herself, and felt that then she was sort of felt that she couldn't, and I could have helped her, and I said I wished I'd known because I could have helped you if you'd said. So I wrote her a little note saying if you would like to try and continue to feed him yourself, I can help you do that. Please let me know. And she apparently, I didn't know how that letter affected her at all, but she really appreciated it. So when she started to do my hair because she's a hairdresser. So she started to do my hair, and it got, stop floating the toys. Oi! No, we don't pull the stuffing out of the pheasant. We leave the pheasant in one piece. Thank you very much. I've already hoovered up the stuffing. I don't appreciate you putting it all over the floor again. Thank you. Sorry. Just disciplining the dog. Your granddaughter starts school next week. Bless her, she's only 4. Oh, my little adopted grandbaby's gone 4. He's a little boy. Grandson. That's the second one. So anyway, Charlotte became my friend. We got on with her hairdressing, and she used to talk about our first child quite a lot. Now I'd say, well, I don't mind looking after him if you need somebody to look after him. So we started like looking after the eldest one for a while. We got really close to him, and we started getting really close to Shah. The kids, the dogs are our kids, grandson here. And so I started to get really close to her, and then she fell pregnant again, and she said, and I was still working as a consultant for feeding, and I said I'd be there to help her, and I was, but unfortunately the day she give birth, the week she was at, I ended up in hospital with a massive asthma attack, so I wasn't there to help her as much as I could have been. And the baby had a tongue tie, so feeding was more difficult, and we didn't get it seen to as quick as what maybe she would have done if I had been there the first couple of days. And I tried to get her help. I rang some people and they were saying, well, my team's really good and I'm sure they'll help, but they didn't help as much as they should have done. And I was so annoyed. I was really cross. But anyway, she managed a little while and then she didn't. And she didn't manage it. And she just, put him on for it, which was fine. But he came to stay with us when he was about 6 weeks old and he stayed overnight. Oh, it was lovely. And me and my youngest daughter looked after him. My husband slept downstairs, and Natasha, my youngest daughter, and the baby stayed in our bedroom. My husband slept downstairs on the sofa, which was hilarious. He didn't have to. He could have stayed in the bedroom or gone into Natasha's room, but he decided he would stay on the sofa. And so that's what happened. And then we just got closer and closer, and we used to have baby quite regularly, and we used to look after the other one whenever Charlotte needed time to go to work. When she went back to work, would look after the little ones, and the eldest would come and stay over, and they'd become like my grandchildren. And even at times, I'm called Nana Lise. Not all the time, they mostly call me Auntie Lise, but every now and then it's Nana Lise. And that's how their mum, my friend, refers to me sometimes as Nana Lise. And we've talked, and I said, they're like my grandchildren. She said, well, you're like their Nana, because they've only got one grandma. Their other one died. So I'm like the substitute almost for that. And they're lovely boys. And he's just started school. It was his first day at big school. But he does have a delay, developmental delay. Sorry, my words aren't coming out. It's the medication I'm on. So he's got a delay with his development, and he has got Asperger's or autism as well. So he's at a disadvantage. So we're worried about how he's going to react at school. But so far, so good. He's been okay. And so he's still in nappies, unfortunately, for all he's in. He can go to the toilet for a week, but he still struggles with other things. And so it's a worry sending him to school, because when they have problems, you're so concerned about them. You're worried about whether they're going to get picked on, whether they're going to manage, how they're going to cope. So it's all, But he started, and his first day went okay, and his first couple of days have been fine. So we'll see how he manages next week. He has got a lot of support. His mum is brilliant. She's she's a lovely mum, and she makes sure that he has everything he needs. She's learned as much as she can about the problems that he has, and make sure that he has lots of different things. So, for example, a lot of children with Asperger's or autism, like sensory things. So she's made sure she's got like sensory lights and toys. His speech has come on. I mean, he couldn't speak for a long, long time. He didn't have a very good lingual use of the English language at all. He was very, very poor with his language. He didn't say many words. But now we can't shut him up. We've got speech and language involved, and we can't shut him up. He's like proper little chatterbox. he's very, very good with his letters and his numbers. You know, he can do his alphabet, write his name, do his numbers, and it's brilliant. But then he gets a lot of support from others. It isn't like the 70s and 80s. In the 70s and 80s, they would have just been categorised as bad children, or, you know, troublemakers. And it's not that at all. I mean, sometimes these children in certain subjects are so advanced that they're ahead of the school, and it's frustration because they want to be able to advance further, but they're stunted by the rest of the class almost. So they get bored, so then they start playing up in the classroom, that kind of thing. So once they recognise them as having superior knowledge almost, not quite sure whether those are the right words, but they have an advanced ability in certain subjects. Some of them like art, some of them maths, English, but science, and some of them excel in those subjects. And you need to recognise that that's what it is, and they're bored. So you need to stimulate them, giving them extra stimulation. So while the rest of the class are doing the basic experiments, the other children, these particular kids need that little bit extra, don't they? And I think now they recognise that. Whereas in the 70s and 80s, they were just classed as irritable, naughty, badly behaved children. Unteachable, I think some of them referred to, which is sad. I mean, even when my nephew's autistic, and even when he was at school, I mean, he's the same age as my middle daughter, so he's 12, 21. And when he was at school, you know, it took a lot to get him the help that he needed, you know. And the eldest nephew is 20. No, he's 21. The eldest nephew is 21. Then the middle one is about 20. And then we've got the youngest one at 16, 17. And they've all, well, the eldest two have got problems. And it took us ages to get the eldest one the help that he needed. They were all going, no, he's just a naughty boy. And he wasn't. He had ADHD, so he needed lots of stimulation. He needed changing of subjects. He needed keep his mind active. Mind, I will remember once he got into it. It was so funny. My sister used to live near me, and we both got very rare kind of stomach cancer, and my sister was the one who got it first year before me. And we're twins, by the way. And he one day got into my eldest nephew. She used to ring me up sometimes because she's also diabetic, so she often had hypos. Well, one day she wasn't well. I'm not sure whether it was a hypo or whether it was she was vomiting or whatever from the cancer, but she wasn't well. And she rang me up and she said, can you take the boys to school? But before I got there, I put in small groups sitting at a table listening to a story tape if we're lucky in dyslexia. I'm dyslexic, but I believe that it's positive with being autistic. Yeah, definitely. He got a hold of his dad's whiskey, and he'd been drinking a bottle of whiskey, and he was drunk. And I took him to school. I said, well, he's going to school. He can't stay at home with you the way you are, and I've got to go to work. So I said he'd go to school. So I took him to school. So he went to school slightly tipsy, and I let the teacher deal with it. And I told the teacher, I said he's managed to get a hold of his dad's alcohol, so he's a little bit tipsy. And the school were really good mind. They realised, and they started to realise the issues that he had. Even that was funny. I said, well, he's not getting off school just because he's been drinking. He should know better, because he was in late primary school. He was at the top end of primary school. He was about year 2, I think. So he was at the end of primary school. He's just been a little brat. Still is a little brat, to be honest with you. He's had a lot of problems. He got himself into trouble and got involved with things he shouldn't, and he's improving now, though. He's getting help, and look at the difference. So we started off with something that had quite bad edges, lumps and bumps, and it's now really quite smooth. So I'm just going to squirt it with that stuff that I got. It clears it up a little bit so you can see, and I'm going to wipe it with a towel I have here. And it's still not got a proper obviously not got a sheen on it because it's been sanded, but it's looking a lot better, isn't it? So you've not got that ridge there that we had. Still feel a little bit of a ridge at the bottom, so I'll sand that a little bit more. And a little bit at the top side there. But we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. So I'll have to be saying I need the next grit up. They give them special classes now, don't they? And I don't know whether I agree with a special class or not, but they do need that extra support, don't they? So they've either got to do it one-to-one in a classroom, which I think if they do it in the middle of a class with everybody else, different to everybody else, it can make them stand out, can't it? Or if they put them into a special class, then they're sort of segregated out. But at the same time, at least everybody in the class is the same as them, so there's not the same bullying. But then there's the stigma attached with, well, you're in a special class. It's very, very difficult to know how to deal with it. And I think schools do really well. You can't wait to see what it'll look like. Please add all your other creations. I will put everything on Twitter. I have put the butterflies on, but I will put the other jewellery on. What is the matter with you? Right, I've been on now for 2 hours, so I'm going to go. I'm going to continue on with this, and I'm going to finish my diamond, my bag, and have something to eat. And I'll see you next time. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me and having a chat with me. You all take care and look after yourselves. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the content and I haven't waffled too much and you've enjoyed what you've seen. Please make a comment. I'm always interested to see what you say. That would be really, really nice. Have a great day, as Ian says. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're in England, if you're in the UK or whatever, remember, have a nice evening or have a nice day, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. I hope you enjoy the rest of it. And thank you for joining me. Please think about subbing. You'd be more than welcome. And we do a nice crafty team of people here. We do all kinds of crafts. So I'm sure you'll see something that you enjoy. And I'm going to love you and leave you. Please remember to pass on a smile if you get the opportunity to. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye. Bye.